The moment I stopped thinking like a musician was the night somebody came up to us mid-gig, in the middle of the night, and said, "Hey, can you turn it down?" We were playing our hearts out, some jazz tune with all the substitutions, we were really in there, and they just didn't care. But what I didn't expect was that that moment was one of 3 moments that completely changed the way that I think about money, clients, and gigs. And in this video, I'm gonna break down all 3 of them. I started as a musician that really cared about the details, all the chords, all of the melodic structure of the forms of the songs, all that stuff. And I wanted to make a living doing music. Eventually, I had to learn that this shift that I'm about to talk about is the difference between just playing gigs and building a career. So this first big moment, we were playing a wedding. It was a dinner set. We were playing maybe a Wayne Shorter tune, something like that. We were really in the chords, the substitutions. We were playing our hearts out. We were all jazz musicians. And as we're in there navigating tune, expressing our souls, somebody comes up to us and says, "Hey, can you guys turn it down?" We're like, "Okay, we'll turn it down." Valid, but okay. So we're playing again, we're playing more, we're playing another tune, maybe some Charlie Parker tune, really into the bebop and all the changes. Again, somebody else comes, "Hey, you guys mind turning down?" Of course, we turn it down and we keep going with the night. And finally, again, we're really in it, in the jazz. And then the father of the bride comes down and asks us to turn it down again. And that was like, wow, 3 people, including the father of the bride, who is the money guy. He's paying for the whole thing, right? So the money guy came up to us, asked to turn it down. And that did something to me, shifted something, because I realized that the money guy, the guy who hired us, he didn't want a concert, he wanted just vibes. He wanted to hang out with his family and friends and chat. He didn't want overbearing music and just wanted to have a good time. He only wanted the vibes. He didn't want the bebop and all the changes and the volume of the cymbals from the drummer. He just wanted an experience. They weren't buying my music, they were buying an experience for themselves and for their guests. And so my artistic mindset at that time, we were all about taking things seriously, really staying true to the standards, playing true to the changes, knowing the melody, improvising our way through all the different sections, proving that we deserve to be there. But what I didn't know is that the consumer mindset, the client mindset, they cared about volume, they cared about mood, they cared about the flow of the evening, they cared about not being distracted. They cared about how classy and fun this musical experience would translate to their guests. They didn't hear the years of practicing that was happening right in front of their eyes. They just wanted to enjoy dinner. And so I had to shift my mindset. Instead of playing with a full band, 10-piece band, all those jazz standards, we had to shift to smaller groupings, maybe 4-piece, quintet, playing jazz standards to keep it at a lower volume. Maybe sometimes a drummer would have to sit out or play with brushes. The musical decisions were more about groove. How do we want to communicate a vibe? We were playing to the room, not our egos, and it was more about energy management. Later on in the night, we were going to play the dance sets, and that's the time when we brought the heat. But during dinner, we needed to really shift that mindset. The job wasn't to impress them during that time. The job was just to make them feel something. Now, a second moment that helped me shift my mindset from a musician mindset to entrepreneurial business mindset was when I realized that clients hire confidence and simplicity. They don't care about my resume. They don't care that I went to Berklee College of Music, studied there, performance jazz, and then went to NYU to study again, masters in jazz. They don't care about any of that. They care about my confidence in what I do. They care about the way that I talk to them on the phone when I'm trying to sell them my band and my passion for that type of work. They don't care about how many jazz standards I have learned. They don't care who I've played with. They care about how I'm gonna make that party, that evening, the best night of their lives. And that was a big shift for me, was making sure that whenever I talk to anybody about my band, that I need to speak with confidence. People want to hear you speak confidently about the thing that you're trying to sell them. And they're not gonna care about any of these other details. They just wanna make sure that they have the right person for the job. And the third moment that helped me shift from my musician mindset to my entrepreneurial mindset is this moment when I realized that every gig is an audition for the next gig. Every time I am at a wedding, and every time I'm at a cocktail hour, at a gig, playing my instrument, I'm actually auditioning for 150 people, all those people in that room. They are gonna go home, they're gonna go later that week, and they're gonna talk to everybody about the band at that wedding that they saw, whether it was great or not great, the things that they liked, they didn't like. And I want them to say all the great things about my band. And so when I realized that, everything shifted. Everything became more long-term. So instead of thinking about the details of a solo or the chord changes, all these details of the music, I started more shaping things so that the experience for the guests would be excellent. It would be optimal. Every gig is a marketing event for all your next clients. This was huge. This is one of the biggest shifts for me. Anytime that I play out, I am marketing myself to my next client. Anybody in there could be my next client. A gig isn't just a gig anymore. It's a room full of gigs. And so I have a 5-question checklist that I ask myself before every gig. What's the client's real goal for tonight? What's the mood that they're paying for? What does success look like to them? What would ruin their experience? What moment or moments do they want to remember? I still love the musician side of me, but the business mindset has changed my life forever. And if you're trying to build a career in music, you need both. If this hit for you, comment vibes down below and I know you'll get it. I'm Claudio, the band leader, bass player, and owner of Mod Society. And subscribe for more content like this. Check out this video where I talk about how I never wanted to be the wedding guy, and I'm so glad that I did. See you guys in the next one. Peace.